Are you one of those people who suffer from electromagnetic hypersensitivity, fatigue, tiredness, stress, brain fog, aches, and pains? What if I told you that you can soak your way into serenity? Soak in Serenity, our new herbal bath formula, is known to soothe anxiety, relieve stress and fatigue in just one bath. Visit our store at blacksunrise.com/herbs-page. Remember to spell sunrise SONRISE.
Welcome back to another segment of your Global Black News. Today's article is an old article, but because of so many predators, I thought that this is a worthy article to read. This article was done by Newsweek in 2018. Disney resort staff among Florida alleged child sex predators busted by undercover police. Disney. And that's why I thought this was a worthy article of reading. A cook at a hotel on the Walt Disney World Resort and a food runner at one of the restaurants on site are among 13 people arrested by undercover police in Florida in a child sex predator sting. The police posed as children online to lure the alleged pedophiles into a trap. One man who is HIV positive was caught attempting to meet a child for unprotected sex, claiming not to have any diseases, according to the police. He allegedly told officers he fantasized about being with a teenage boy. Yikes. Polk County Sheriff's Office announced in a press release that it carried out the 6-day Operation Cyber Guardian from October 2nd to 7th, leading to the arrest. Police pretended to be boys and girls in their early teens on social media and dating sites to snare men attempting to meet them for sex. When the men showed up at the agreed time and location with condoms and lubricant, they were met not by their intended victim, but a detective instead, according to the release. These predators are out there trying to sexually seduce and violate children. Sheriff Grady Judd said in a statement, "They lurk in chat rooms and online, ready to groom children for sex. Unfortunately, because of the great work of our detectives, at least 13 of them won't be doing that anytime soon. The things that these predators say to children they believe are 13 and 14 are vile and disgusting. Even seasoned trained detectives are repulsed. The bottom line is that these predators need to be locked up and kept away from children." One of those arrested, who face a total of 57 felony charges and one misdemeanor charge between them, was Robert Grassano Mazzeca, 22 of Davenport, Florida. Grassano Mazzeca is accused of starting a conversation online with someone he thought was a 13-year-old girl, eventually asking if they could have sex in a pool and sending messages of his penis. Damn. He also lied about his age, claiming to be 17 and trying to dupe the girl into thinking sex with him would be legal, police said. When he showed up at the location with condoms and lubricant, he was arrested and told police he worked as a cook at the Grand Floridian Hotel in the Disney Resort, police said. He was booked into Polk County Jail and charged with 3 felonies: attempted lewd lascivious molestation, use of a two-way communication device to commit a felony, and traveling to meet a minor for the purpose of sex. Timo Townsend, 24, also of Davenport, chatted online with someone he thought was a 14-year-old girl. He told her he wanted to do neck kisses, then called to say he wanted to go all the way and would bring a condom when they met, according to police. He was arrested by detectives when he arrived. Townsend worked as a food runner at the Boathouse restaurant in Disney Springs. Townsend was charged with 3 felonies: traveling to meet after using a computer to lure a child, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, and attempted lewd lascivious molestation. A Disney spokesperson told Newsweek neither men were employed by the company. The Boathouse restaurant is not owned or operated by Disney. There's more to the article, but you guys can go read it. It's quite an extensive article. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is we previously discussed in a news article about the explosive news headlines about multi-millionaire or billionaire Peter Nygaard allegedly sex trafficking children and raping them at his residences, in particular in the Bahamas. In that article, it is alleged that he paid off Bahamian government officials and police to look the other way. Then in another report we read Les Wexner, who allegedly was the person who, well, this is not alleged, he gifted Jeffrey Epstein with a $66 million townhouse mansion in Manhattan. And today we're talking about predators at Disney. Guys, the moral of the story is this: these things are rampant, okay? You're not going to have 1 million missing children every year in the United States and it not being talked about on the news every day. And then the exposing of these explosive allegations of sex trafficking by very powerful people that have the money to pay off whole cities to victims like myself, who for many years was followed at the age of 14, 15, 17, 19, 20, 21, and from 21 and I believe all the way up to until I literally stopped going out. I just stopped freaking going out. And I was almost trafficked in the church. And because I didn't want to sell my ass to sing in a fucking choir, those two churches came after me. So I'm the one tooting the horn that these things are everywhere. Okay, now regarding Peter Nygaard, I explained previously that Peter Nygaard never sexually assaulted me, but I had an experience with him that let me know there is no way on this planet I would ever be in a room with that individual alone. Okay, that's all I had to say. And then, questions in my mind arose, about Effie. Oh, something I forgot to mention. When I stopped communicating with Magdala Cooper, who is now an ambassador, shockingly, and runs a children's charity in Liberia, 3 days after I ended all communications with Magdala Cooper, I was almost kidnapped on 57th Street in front of the restaurant known as Rue 56 one night after leaving Effie. Effie, the woman who introduced me to Peter Nygaard.
Black Sunrise, waking the masses off their asses.
And I was walking down the street, I left Effie, and I was walking to take a taxi, and something inside of me said, turn around. And as I turned around, there was a 6 foot tall, very skinny, he looked very young but tall and skinny African guy who literally lunged out to grab me and throw me in the back of a white van. And as I turned around, I saw that the person who was driving the van he looked Italian. He had what you would constitute Italian features. And I literally ran down the street, jumped in a taxi cab, and told the taxi, look, some guys are following me. When I was in the taxi cab, I called Effie. And Effie, I said, listen. I was like, I was almost kidnapped and thrown in the back of a white van. And Effie said to me, do you think this has anything to do with Magdala Cooper? And I was like, well, I find it strange that I stopped talking to her 3 days ago. And when I got to my destination, so Effie said to me, listen, Renetta, I don't know what's going on with you and Magdala, but I don't want this to I don't want any problems. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is about. I think that happened in 2007 or something. 2000, I can't remember. It's been so long ago. But when I got to my destination, I saw some police officers and I went to tell them. I said, listen, I was almost abducted off the street. The police officers looked at me and laughed and thought I was crazy and did absolutely nothing. Guys, this stuff is real, okay? This stuff is real. Not only that, I went around to asking questions about, are people hearing any reports about missing children? And guys, if you take the time to talk to people in your community or communities that you frequent, you would be surprised at how many reports there are of people speaking about kids almost being abducted in broad daylight. It is rampant and it's happening. Protect your children at all cost. Join us for another episode of Global Black News.